Hello everybody, this is BigAlski.
And this is JTB.
And this is chapter 15 of Ballbade's Master Ninja Karma Run. Now, he had sent us some notes about this first gauntlet. I guess after he finished chapter 14 in the video you guys saw, doing the Ghostfish fight, he didn't get it like he wanted to. So since he didn't get it like he wanted to, he has to go back and refight Doku in order to get this fight like he wants to. So having said that, he said he lost around 8K redoing Doku, but he said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that's got to be due to the fish here. As you can see, he's using the Debilero to do the fish. Prior to this, it was fairly common to just use the UF and swap over for that for one wave, one or two waves, and that's going to kill all the fish and guarantee the time bonus. But you can get a lot more single UTs using the Debilero, but the fish really have to cooperate. As you can see, they do there, but if they spawn in a certain pattern, you're only going to kill one with your follow-up UT, and that's obviously going to reset your UTs to getting an ET and then just getting follow-up UTs on one wave of the fish, where you want to get at least 2 per wave.
So I bet you he tried that a few times too. He said the 8,000, or 8,000 doesn't matter, but when you're doing a big run like he's doing right here, I've always said that those points do matter. Even though he made it up, I guess. It's hard to say. That's just 8,000 for the next guy to get. So there you go.
Whoever actually does that, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody.
No way.
But this fight is really annoying. I really hate this fight. It really kind of relies on exploiting the low health, getting you blue essence. I mean, you can see here he gets very regular blue essence on every enemy he kills. But I'm sure there's probably at least a dozen runs where he didn't get the essence that he wanted to get.
Right.
It's one of those things, like, taking it to that next level. Like, I can't remember who first came up with this strategy, actually, now that I think about it. But it is definitely something that you want to exploit. Being able to get blue essence when you're at very, very low health. The game has a tendency to spawn a lot of blue orbs whenever you're at very, very low health. And of course, they're going to get you a UT straight away.
It was probably Kiori.
It probably was. But,
yeah. Do we even need to say that anymore?
Yeah.
Everything that was done was Kiori.
But this fight I hate this fight so much. This one always runs it down right to the limit. This spot here is a great spot to use. The fish tend to spawn very, very close to you here. You don't have to wait for them to come to you. And as you can see, he's just getting constant UT after UT after UT. And it's important to kind of direct it as much as you can. Because if you move away from this spot, again, the same thing can happen in the first ghost fish encounter, where you only might kill one fish with a UT, and that's obviously going to reset your entire UT, ET rhythm. So
and also, you tend to get nicked. That's a good place to where you don't get nicked.
Yeah, getting hit by ghost fish in that encounter. In some of them, it's not that big a deal, but in that one, like, that's going to cost you the time bonus. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to take a hit and still make that time limit.
That little cutscene after that Ghostfish fight in Sigma was pretty cool. I always liked that.
Yeah, with the ninjas dying, and he gives you the key.
Right. Now, he got a couple ETs during this, and I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't reset. I mean, do you have any ideas why that would happen? I mean,
I'd say this fight is the least important one in the core. I remember on my run, actually, I put a lot of emphasis on getting this fight perfect. You can get a starting UT at the beginning, and you have enough time to get 2 UTs on all 7 of these imps. However, that's only that's going to be 14 UTs, whereas doing the fish encounters, doing the ogres, berserkers, and the last fight, they're just way more important. There's so many more points in those fights compared to this one. I mean, that's his second ET, I think, or his third?
Third.
So, I mean, that's going to be like 9,000 points looking at that, whereas
right.
If you want to get at least 7 or 8 UTs on every single ghostfish encounter, and if you only get like 4 or 5 UTs on the ghostfish, you're looking at 40,000-50,000 points lost on those encounters. Whereas on this one, he's only really losing 9, but from what I can remember, he does get at least 7 UTs on every ghostfish fight. So he more than makes up those points.
Well, I've always believed that you can't make up for points. Points
lost.
Well, yeah,
he gets them. Not necessarily make up, but like he makes do, I guess, with the encounters. And that fight in itself is just really frustrating. The slider fiends are really, really annoying trying to get 2 UTs out of them. Of course, if you hit 2 enemies with 1 UT, then that's a lost UT right there. If you hit them into the wall, sometimes it will kill them, sometimes it won't kill them. It's just very, very annoying.
Right. I like their little legs right there when they have them up in the air, how they're going back and forth.
But the True Dragon Sword is definitely a good choice to use there. You don't want to use the low health UF, like the area of effect. That True Dragon Sword UT is extremely powerful. So, I mean, as you can see, it only takes like a follow-up XYY to finish off the laser imps. So if he was to use the low health UF, for example, he could easily kill one of the ogres with, you know, with the area of effect that UT has.
Right, yeah. And then, of course, having the Davi is not going to do any damage because it's at level 1.
It's at level 1, yeah. Thanks to Kiori for coming up with that idea.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, it's amazing how the game's evolved.
Yeah. Wasn't it Edge who first thought of doing that? I think because he kept it at level 2, I think, when he did a run.
Right.
I think he kept it at level 2, and then when Kiori did, like, I think it was his only Karma run, which is even more impressive, thinking about it. His only Karma run that, like, rewrote the book on how to do it. Right. And then, he kept both the Warhammer and Debilero at level 1, and their UTs are just so weak at level 1. They're great for farming like this.
So I guess the next thing we're going to see is somebody doing level 1 Karma runs with the Dragon Sword.
I think that'd be that good though, really.
No, it's just where you go. I mean, you got the Davi, the UF. I mean, not the UF, the Warhammer at level 1, and the Lunar at level 1.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a pity the like nunchucks aren't that useful. Because even at level 1, the nunchuck UT is still pretty good. It's one of the few that is.
Yeah.
Like, that last hit of that UT still is pretty damn powerful.
I just remember playing the game and just hating doing these fights right here.
Yeah, Ghostfish were always the nemesis the first time you played this game.
They seem tougher in the original. Oh, he's going up to get the Dark Dragon Blade, I think.
Yeah. You want to war run, wait for the flip, and then do BY. I think that's what he's doing here. Yeah, wait for that and then do BY, and you'll get it. And this is actually pretty important. I think it was fairly certain it was Kiori that first showed this as well, because there's an interesting thing with the low health UF on Berserkers. It doesn't do as much damage to them as it would do any other enemy for some reason. Like the Dark Dragon Blade is on par with the low health UF's power on Berserkers. However, when you use the low health UF on other enemies, it's significantly more powerful than the Dark Dragon Blade. So for whatever reason, Berserkers seem to have some sort of buff that it's not that as effective against them. Because even with the low health UF, it still takes, I think, 3 forward Ys and a UT with the low health UF with Armlet of the Sun on to take out a Berserker. Whereas the Dark Dragon Blade will do it in, I think, 3 forward Ys and 1 UT. So.
Now, he did write some other notes on here talking about the core. He said he saved after each fight in the core, went to Maramasa in chapter 14 before the Berserker level, then went back again before the last Ghostfish fight, and then he said there was no time to go back after the Marvis Gauntlet. We were just talking about, it just seems that in the original Ninja Gaiden, you couldn't go back to chapter 14. It was like you would fall right before you would get there. It's just something we're going to have to, look at and see.
Yeah, I can't remember that exactly, but I think there was something that stopped you. But I was always disappointed that, because I think in NGO, I don't think you ever got the Dark Dragon Blade, did you? To actually, use in fights. Obviously, you get it at the end of the game before you go and fight Mirai, but I can't remember if you actually ever have it to use.
I don't remember. It's been so long. I mean, you would get it like on a NG Plus. They had like an NG Plus run that you could do.
Oh, did you get it on that?
Yeah.
All right, I was going to say, because I know you definitely didn't get it for Scarabs, but I was always disappointed with it because it's such a crap weapon for the most part. Its UT is probably one of the best UTs in the game. I mean, its UT is ridiculously powerful. One of the most fun things to do, I think, in Black is like use the Dark Dragon Blade on the 100-man missions. You can take out an entire wave of enemies with just 1 UT. It's so powerful, but like it's regular. Yeah, that's another thing about this. Real quick, thinking about it, the Berserkers. I actually think the Luna is a better choice for this, but purely because it's I think the Berserker does block a couple of them in this fight. They have a really annoying habit of blocking your Debilero UTs, which is very, very frustrating. They can still do that, of course, with the Luna UT, but the Luna UT is multi-hit, so even if they block the first hit or the second hit, usually your follow-up ones will hit them. Of course, the downside to using the Luna is you don't have the huge area of effect that the Debilero has, so all trade-offs aside, it probably works out even. But it's a really, really frustrating fight to farm the Berserkers. Something that we did kind of skip over a little bit, the idea you want to have, you will see it when you go back and watch it, you want to try and keep both Berserkers on screen to a certain point, because the way their sort of AI works, when they're both on screen, they don't really know how to behave. Like, you'll see them kind of like, you know, move side to side, kind of like stutter around and not really move properly, whereas when you just have one on screen, you know, they just gun right for you and don't stop. And it's kind of interesting that when they're both on screen, they don't really do anything, because they don't have any off-screen attacks, unlike in Sigma, where they can do that move right there off-screen, which is total bullshit.
I just love the sound that makes as it hits them.
Yeah, I love that UT. It's so cool. It's such a cool UT.
Yeah, just hearing that sound.
It is really awesome. But I think they should have at least given it like the Debilero moveset or something. Like, just to make it, because I mean, like, even though the story of this game's not that big a deal, like, a huge deal is made about that weapon, and it sucks.
Right.
Like, why would you, like, it would make more sense for them to steal the Dragon Sword, because the Dragon Sword is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why would they go after the Dark Dragon Blade? It's terrible. You know?
That's why Mirai gets defeated, because he doesn't know. He has the Dark Dragon Blade.
He gets caught up in it. He's like, yeah, I want this weapon, and Ryu is just like, nah, you got the wrong weapon, dude. This is the one you want right here, and I'm gonna prove it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick it in your ass. See how you like it.
He was such a joke in the original game, though. You could just like flying swallow infinite him. Like, he just couldn't do anything.
Well, that's the same thing with Dynamo. How you could
you could do that in the original.
Well, I think this is about it. I did run over, you know, what he said he did. Just a few more seconds here of this, but I mean, great job overall. There are some points out there if people want them. Good luck getting them. That's all I can say.
And it'll probably take years off your life.
Okay, we'll see you next chapter.